Well, I do apologise. Dear me. Oh, well, you know, if it goes with me. Right then, let's get wires out the way. Let's look at you lot. So let's have a look here. Go live. Let's see. Right then, let's have a look. Yeah, I can see all you guys. You can see me. Let's press go live here. Oh my gosh, I'm sweltering. Okay. Woo. Dear. Okay. Diddly doodah and all that. Right. Hello. It's Tuesday. It's a wheelbarrow. It's a fun little card. I'll just wait for everyone to log on. As you do. I don't mind talking to myself. Hi, Trudy. How the devil are you? Hopefully you're well. We have got Instagram over here, YouTube here. Hi, Sarah. And we have got Facebook here. Woohoo. Good evening. Susan. Hello. Sarah. Hi. Trudy. Hello. Oh, well, I feel like I'm melting. Hi, Deborah. Hope you're well. Well, I am melting. I can clearly tell you. I'm absolutely dying in this heat. Hi, Terry. I've got, I just need a permanent sort of towel to wear. Good, I'm glad to hear it. A permanent towel to sort of mop myself. Oh, my goodness, mate. In fact, I'm just going to, bear with me a second. I'm just going to take, I've got like a layer on, so I'm going to take the layer off. There we go. Let me roll Zang out. I don't care. There we are. Sorted. Good job you can't see me now. That's all I'll say. I'd scare you off at 10 miles away. 10 paces and all that nonsense. Right. Okay. Woo, there we are. We've got a wobble there. Right. It's not hot here. Really? Oh, hi, Caroline. I'm very well. Thank you. I'm glad everyone's well. Right then, okay, yeah, we've got people on. Hello for all of you that aren't saying hello and are in the background watching. I'll just sort of say hello because I know you're there. Hello, wherever you are, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram or YouTube. Hello, Rach, my darling. Right, so I lose on a few. Just water, honestly, water the. Hello, sweetness. Sissy Poos is in the house. Love you and Maggie Moo and that crazy other. The ball catching nightmare, but oh gosh, what a lovely little bean. And just to let you know, just to update you, obviously we have a live with Amanda Branston on her YouTube channel, so if you haven't subscribed, please do. I believe, forgive me, crazy dog's gone home. Oh bless. Oh, I bet you missed him already. I believe it is 7:30 that Amanda is doing her live tomorrow, Wednesday. So I'll be there. I've subscribed. I'm waiting for my notification. Hi, Sylv. So that'd be good. Another announcement I want to make. Obviously, I've been putting some links out with regards to Amazon. Now, good evening, Marie. Good evening, Annette. Good evening, Sylvie. Amazon. So the links I've put out there are for items I use, as in my bleed proof, the dial around it, so things that I use. Now, I know that I put a link up earlier for some squirrel hair brushes. Now, hi mom's in the house. The squirrel hair brushes, I have got synthetic and I do also have real. So, you know, I am very much an animal lover, so please don't bombard me with nonsense, right? Because at the end of the day, I use craft things which are good to give me what I want in craft. Now, I am not I am totally against animal cruelty, and I just want to put this out there. If I put a link up which isn't humane or anything like that, just let me know and I'll take it down. I'm putting links up for products I use. Now, the links that I've got up at the moment, the one with the squirrel hair, real hair, has gone off because they've sold out. So I just want to clear that up with you. I will be posting some other links up as well. So please, it is a disclaimer as well. Obviously, I do get a small commission off a sale. I will put that out there every time I put a link up. So I'm being totally transparent with you, you know, and it is very minimal. It's pence, okay? So I'm just letting you know, but it all helps. It gives me free, able to give you this free, you know, tutorials and give you all the information that you love and obviously have come to love and join me with. So it's just a little way of saying thank you to me without putting you know, you're buying items you want, which I use, you know, in that sense. And talking about items you use, I'm having some new paints tomorrow and some new brushes. The brushes link's already on my album on Lisa Magical Maker on Facebook. My inks will be available at Tracy Evans Boutique. They are the Dina Wakley collection I'll be using and playing around with as soon as they come. So again, if I'm not putting up on an Amazon link, I will be linking it to Tracy Evans Boutique. And those are the only two links I am going to be using from now on. Okay, so anything to do with Amanda Branston, I'll be plugging. Anything to do with oh, what I also want to say as well, Nice Crafting Mashup Group is now Magical Mashup. And the reason, can I have your hold ones? Yes, Mom. The only reason why I've changed the name on that is because when I done the Amazon, they wanted everything I was linked with in a format. So that's the only reason why the name of that group has been changed. So I'm just saying it as it is. I'm being totally transparent. There's nothing going on or anything like that. I'm just being totally straight with you guys, okay? So any links will be an Amazon link only and through Tracy Evans, okay? So that will be stamps and all that. Oh, so here we go. I'm chatting about nonsense. Sylvia's just reminded me, if we can have a thumbs up wherever you're watching from, whether you're in silent or whatever, feel free. Evening all. Hi, handcrafted by me. Hello. Morning, Chris. Hey, then morning, Chris. Evening, Chris. I've lost the plot. Right then, so that's all that. Now, last thing, obviously I've got a live tonight. I'm going to do a live on Thursday. If you're in Tracy Evans Boutique, I'm going to go live in that group as well Thursday, as well as YouTube. Okay. Reason being is there's not going to be a live on Sunday because I'm going to Plymouth. Now, once I've done the Plymouth workshop on Saturday, I'm travelling down Friday, staying over, doing the workshop and then travelling back. I am going to be too shattered to do a live on Sunday. So I thought to myself, well, I'll do a little bit of a nicety to you guys and do a little bit in Tracy's group as well as YouTube and obviously my other online. So thank you very much for that. Oh, fabulous. But I had to rescue the drain cover from the pup. I don't even want to know. That sounds interesting. So Thursday, I am going to be doing this little card and an envelope. Now, the envelope, I've just made it out of an A4 sheet of paper. Use the same products on both, whacked a bit of paper on, and voila. No, you ain't missed anything yet. I ain't started, don't worry. And then I've just done a lovely insert, and I can give credit to the insert because I never used to bother. And I saw Amanda Branston's beautiful tutorial she done once with some Yupo paper and other little bits and pieces, and I thought, oh, ain't that cute? So there you go. So we all support each other in the crafting community, and those that don't, obviously it's one of those. So there you go. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing this Thursday, and somebody's asked me about doing some pathways. So I'm also going to be doing this because this is a really quick and easy card for me. I mean, very quick. So I'm also going to be doing some sort of pathways because somebody's asked me about doing a pathway. And then tonight's card is a a wheelbarrow. I don't know where I've got tractor. Oh, it's red, isn't it? A red tractor. Don't ask. Don't ask. I'm having a moment. I think the heat's got me the heat's got to me. I need to debunk. I definitely do because I'm having a moment. I can tell. Anyway, so that's going to be Thursday's live with something else. Okay. So this card. Now, this card, I nearly put in the bin. It just was not going right for me at all. So I'm being honest with you. Not every card goes right for me. And this come very, 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 what's a pathway? Well, it's something you walk along. But they want horizontal. Yeah, it's a manual. Oh, hello, Michael. Love it. How you doing, mate? Hiya, Alison. Bless you. Hello, hello, hello. If I haven't said hello to you, I'm not being ignorant. Hello. Let's have a look. So we got Denise, Maxine, Lynn, Penny, Sally Sunshine. She can't get the staff. She doesn't know her Tuesdays from her Wednesdays. Penny, it's all right. I've put them straight. Denise, hi. Hello, hello, hello. Let me just, there we go. Scrolly. So hello, everybody there. So this just wasn't going right at all. It's all right. Don't worry. So am I, Chris. Do not worry. Okay. Now then, this card wasn't going right at all. I mean, it really wasn't. It come very close to it, and it's salvaged in the end. It's just a weird one. But I've not cheated as such, but I am going to show you this technique, but I've done this in advance because I've used masking fluid, because I didn't on this one, and I think that's why I ended up with the problem I had. So I've already stamped and masked this. Now the masking fluid I use is on my links, and it is the Daler Rowney, the watercolour mediums, and it's the big bottle as well that's on the link, 175ml. I tell you, they're like gold dust, but they're on there, and that's the main thing. So I've already stamped it and covered it. Now I want to show you, and I'm going to just do it on a tag, and I want to show you how any brush, and I mean this, any brush, and again, this is another tip that Amanda's shown me, and I don't mind sharing. Sharing's caring in the caring community that we're in. I'm going to put this out the way, and I'm just going to just show you this in real time now, okay? So this can actually dry while we start to faff around with the main card itself, all right? Let me just put these over here. Stamps I'm using is TE23, 38, number 6 and 14. Obviously 14's got the wheelbarrow on. I use these little bits here, so I didn't use, you know me, I mess around with them and sort of pull around. Obviously I've used the tree. And these I use as little background bits and the little birdie. But again, you use what you've got, something similar. It hasn't, maybe you want to put a tractor in and not a wheelbarrow, you know. But hey ho, that's what I'm using tonight. So I'm going to put that out the way, and I'm going to show you now. This is a painting brush. Now then, oh goodness me, I'm all over the place here. Let me grab my bits and bobs. Right, let's get plates. Let me get some paint. Hello, Lise. How you doing, sweetness? We're going to be using brown VersaFine Clear Fallen Leaves, and I have got a selection of oxides: black soot, scorched timber, tumbled glass, mowed lawn, and rustic wilderness. Not a lot really for me, but you'll get it, you'll see why. Now I just want to show you this. Good, I'm glad to hear it, sweetie. I'm just going to put this into some water, and I'm just going to show you. Painty brush, yeah. Let me just paint with it. Let me put some water on it. There you go. Right, there we are. Painty brush, yeah? Painting. Right, so I'm going to rinse this. I'm going to do it on camera so you can actually see. So, rinse brush. I'm still on camera, so I'm not doing anything underhanded. And I'm just going to dry the brush now. So, whoop. There we go. Just drying the brush. There we go. Normal, regular brush. And this is a... I can't see, it's disappeared. Oh, it's a number 1 brush. Oh, it's a decent brush. There we go. It's a number 1 brush. Put the tissue over there, move that out the way, move paints out the way. You've just seen me paint and that. So I'm now going to put it into Vaseline. So this is any brush. Oh, hello, Michelle. I'm glad you're here. You caught me live. I'm just giving you a really good tip as well. A normal painting brush, whatever you got, if you've got your best brushes. Now, just to let you know, my best brushes, let me just put that there a second. Don't let it fall. My best brushes are ones I don't use, and I look at them. I look at them with joy. So these are my best brushes, and they are the Fumi. Now I haven't used these yet because I just love them, and I'm in the stroking phase with them at the moment. And I keep taking this one out and thinking, shall I use it, shan't I? You know, so, but yeah. So these will come out to play, but those are my best brushes. And I look, I mean, this is a fabulous set. I mean, look at this. Take it on holiday with you, this is the whole reason I got these. They go in a fabulous little pouch and all that nonsense. So I know I've got to use them instead of just stroking them. It's a bit like fancy papers, isn't it? But yeah, so they're my best brushes. So these are older brushes. Now, let me just put that back in the abyss. Abyss, there you go, it's gone. Right, so my brushes. Now, I've put a link on for that. Now, these are my everyday brushes, and I love these. And these are stroke. I mean, they are in the stroke. In fact, these are in the using stage. So these are the brushes I use all the time that you'll always see me use. The link is on in the album on my Facebook, okay? I've got them too. Ah, see? Yeah. Right, so, old brush. let me get back onto this blinking nonsense. God, honestly, you lot distract me terribly. Right then, so now as you've seen, I've put a really decent coat of Vaseline on that, yeah. Now this is Daily Roundly masking fluid. What I've done is I've decanted, go me with a posh word, and I have literally got myself a little bottle. Now, forget using it out the squirty bit because it don't happen, all right? Because it gunks up and, yeah, it just ain't going to happen. Right, it's masking fluid. So I've used this, and all I do now is, well, I'm going to stamp first, obviously, but that's all now loaded with Vaseline. I'm not going to tell you the conversation I had with Eileen Goodwin today about extra inches and lube and things like that. Very interesting. That's all I'll say. But she's just sprung to mind. And if you're watching in the background, you honestly, I've got visions of Tom Hardy and all sorts, you know. Shocking. That's all I'm going to say. Terrible influence she is. Absolute terrible influence. So I just want to show you guys now how you actually go about masking with a normal brush. You ain't got to spend money on a fancy brush that says Frisk's masking fluid brush. And it's like 10 or 15 quid for Daphnis. That's all I'm going to say. Right, so let's... I've got a little tag here. You see, because I'm not live anywhere else, I'm only live on what I'm connected with. I can talk like this with you guys. When I link myself to another page, I've got to behave myself. You know, whew, dear me, I'd be scaring folk off, wouldn't I? Now then, I'm not going to do a wheelbarrow upside down or anything, but I suppose I could sort. Actually, shall I tell you what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit the wheelbarrow like it's up at the wall. What do you reckon? Yeah, I'll tell you what. Why not? Let's do something different. There we go. Okay, YouTube. Oh dear me. Yeah. Well, it was a funny laugh anyway. That's all I'll say. It was a fun conversation. Right then. So I've got a wheelbarrow and then it's perched up my tag. That's going to look fabulous, that is. So obviously I've done that down. I've put it with masking fluid. It's dried. I'm going to show you now how. Let me just put that over there a minute. Let's come a bit closer. Hopefully you can all see. Yes, you can all see. Right, so masking brush, Vaseline. Just to make sure, just in case you've missed me. There we go. Swirly, swirly. And I'm trying to keep it in that brush sort of look. Now, I've just stuck that on with, obviously, VersaFine Clair Fallen Leaves. I'll put that there so you can still see what's going on. And all I'm going to do is squeeze my bottle. Oh, bless it. And I'm going to put the masking fluid on. And then I'm going to just sort of, not paint as in literally squidge the brush down, but I'm going to move the brush and I'm going to move the fluid. So I'm not going to, like, scribble like I did here. But I'm actually, where I've got that wet fluid, I'm just going to start painting. And this is just a regular cheapo brush. Now, this is like a really cheap brush. And I've listed, with these Amazon links, I've listed a really cheap wet paint set. Now, I've only done it just in case, you know, some of you guys haven't got paint sets and have been looking, oh, I've got to go and buy a paint set now. Well, listen, it's dead cheap and it's just paint set. You don't need no fancy blooming £100 set of paints because, you know, these, yeah, there's always a cost to everything. But I've just put a cheap set up so you can play around with it. It's only, I think it's only about £7 or £8. You know, so I'm trying to do things that aren't going to break the bank. When I put a link up, I'm trying to get the best value and obviously as cheap as possible because products are expensive, you know, at the end of the day. Now, you can see what I'm doing, yeah? Thank goodness. That's all I'll say. Now, I'm putting quite a bit on now because there's times when I've done this and I've just missed little areas because I'm chittery-chattering as I do. So, I'm just putting plenty on. And that's why I've done this one prior because I thought to myself, oh, crumbs, if I'm chatting, miss a bit, and then I start taking off the masking tape and it looks a bit naff and oh, it all goes falling apart. So, brush down because that's done, yeah. Go on, honestly, I feel like I'm melting. Good job I ain't the Wizard of Oz. I'd melt and I'd be on the floor in a puddle. So, just normal, regular Vaseline. That's all it is. And you let that dry and it'll just come off and then I'll paint again with it and I'll show you that it's not ruined the brush, okay? Because if you don't put a product on and you just dip that in, you will never be painting with this brush again, okay? So I'm going to leave that there. There's a good set to take on the workshop. Yes, definitely. Yeah. I'll stick with me old stuff for workshops. Everybody likes to use my stuff, so, which I don't mind at all, by the way. But I'm not taking my best set with me. I'll just keep stroking it like that. Right, so you can see now you have no sound on Facebook. Oh, do I not? Okay, let's have a look. If I don't have any sound on Facebook, try that. Is that any better? I don't know. That's why we have YouTube, you see, because whatever, I don't know why, but there always seems to be a sound issue with Facebook. So sound is better on YouTube. There we go. Hi, Brian. Hey, sound is not great on YouTube. Well, it's how it normally is, I'm afraid to say. So, you know, at the end of the day, there's not a lot I can physically do. I don't know. I've looked at my volume settings. Everything's up. Oh dear me. I just don't want to even answer, but there you go. Right, okay. So that's now going to dry. I'm going to leave that over there. So, in fact, I'm going to put it there so you can see. So here we go. I'm on YouTube. You are? Yes, because I can see your comment on YouTube. You have no sound. Well, some people are saying they can hear me, others aren't. So I don't know. Have fun. All right, Anne-Marie. No worries, darling. I meant the small paint set. What was that? I missed it. I can hear me fine as well, sis. Okay, let's start. There we go. That's all right then. If Sissy Poos can hear me, then I know that we're all okay. So, unfortunately, it might be a case of you looking at your settings and stuff like that. So there's not a lot I can do apart from I'm going to craft. And if you can't hear me, you can watch me. You know, that's why I always say YouTube's the best one. There's just so many problems with elsewhere. It's just like crazy. Right then, so let's start this. Now, as I say, I've actually masked this off. Let me put Mr. Barrow away. There we go. So, Barrow's away. There we are. I would call him Jack Barrow. I'm in one of them moods today, don't worry about it. Right, in fact, I'm going to need that barrow in a second. I need to do a reflection. Crumbs, you lot aren't on the case with me at all today, are you? Right, then let me just get some blue down. Let me ground it down first of all. That's not dry yet, so we'll just leave that over there. Right, tumbled glass I'm going to put down first of all because we're going to put sort of the water. I am going to change the look of this card to this one because you know me, I never repeat. Because if I do send this out to anybody, you always have a separate card and I don't replicate my work. I like one-offs. Hi Ali, hope you're well, sweetness. We're absolutely melting here. I'm not going to say I'm naked or anything, but flipping heck, I am absolutely roasting. I've taken a layer off. Now, all I've done here is gone a bit darker at the bottom and I've brought it out lighter. Oh, here we go. We're on dibs. Bless the cottons. And then as in a reflection, I'm going to go up the top. Okay. So I'm now going to just put a bit of a skyline up here. So again, I'm using number 7 brush. And all I'm using is that top area there. And again, I'm looking at different brushes. I'm looking at different products to obviously show you the best stuff that's out there. And again, different, everybody likes different things, so you know, one of them. Dear Lord, if I was crafting, well, no, I ain't even going there. I'm not even having that conversation with you. Oh dear me, honestly, that just like, no, we're not going there. Oh, the sound's much better. There you go, Teresa. Fabulous. She can hear us now. There we are. I'm out of panic mode now. You can hear us. Fabulous. Right, now, I've got mowed lawn, but, no, actually, no, there's no but, actually. We'll use mowed lawn. There we go. Right, there we are. So, mowed lawn. There we are. Tickety-boo. Now, I'm going to just put some green. I'm going to come in from the side and along. Now, don't worry about how much you're building up or what you're doing where. Jack Barrow. It is, honestly, it's Jack Barrow. Oh dear, I do have a soft spot for him though, crikey. I mean, you've got away, you really. Well, not now, he's a bit podgy and a bit like, you know, but back in the day, you know, crumbs. Oh yeah. So I tell you, it must be the heat. Honestly, it gets us ladies all in a right tither. Bloody Tom Hardy, bloody Jack Barrow. Crikey, what else is going on in the world? Dear Lord. Chris, honestly. Oh dear. Right, I'm trying to get myself not into trouble here. Right, rustic wilderness. I told you a lot of bad influence. Same brush. Oh dear. Right, I'm just going to put a bit of a dark apply just around Jack. Oh, Yule Brinner. Now you see me mom, Jack and Yule Brinner. Shall we dance? Bum bum bum. I him myself. Yeah, I know. Bless. Bit of a hunk. I see I got me Dave, bless him. You know, wouldn't change him for the world, you know, but bless. We can all fantasise, you know. One of them. Life's too short if we're all boring, isn't it? Hey, crumbs. You've got to have a bit of a pickle somewhere, you know, sissy pooers. There's got to be somebody that you think to yourself, oh, you know, who's offered for one night, mind you, you know, one of them. When you've got steak and all that, you know, it's all that sayings and everything. Right, Mr. Barra, Jack, we'll call him Jack. I'm just going to get one of my watercolour pens, and again, I've whacked that link on there, and just to show you, I'm not sort of pulling your leg and whacking stuff up. If I haven't used it, it ain't going on there. Dead simple. So I've got 20 million of these, to be fair, but they're really good, absolutely fabulous. So I've not put them up there just for the sake of it, but yeah, they're good, and they're only like £4 or something daft. I mean, crumbs. I'll probably earn half a p off that. But, you know, yeah, well, you know the saying, isn't it? Beggars can't be choosers. Every morning I imagine George Clooney, with my coffee. Espresso. Oh, crumbs. Well, you know, what can I say? Like I say to you guys, you wouldn't say no, would you? You know. Right, scorched timber. All I'm doing is just wetting a corner. Christopher, any age, honestly. To be fair, I did like him in the vampire one. Oh, dearie me. For an old un. Oh, dear. He does twinkle your fire. Yeah, our mother's on it. Yes, she likes Chris Officer. He sings nice as well. Yeah, I must admit, he does sing a nice song. You know, Chris Officer. Oh, Blade, there you go. I knew he was in something. Vampire, I knew he was linked with vampires. I knew it. It's all right. So anyway, we do yummy. We're doing all right with the card. See, I ain't even thinking about the card. I'm thinking about these divas now. Good Lord. Crikey. I hope I'm just remember it's a wheelbarrow. The Highwaymen, you see. Here we go. Yeah. Now, you see, now I've got that song in my head, which always reminds me of my mum and dad. The Highwaymen singing the is it the Highwayman song? Love Chris. Oh, in Convoy, yes. Oh, dear me, gosh, we are off on tangents tonight, ain't we? Right, I'm just going to get a bit of paint out. I'm going to check my brush in a minute because you can see how quick this happens. Now, a bit of water in the paint. Just remember, I've just done a cheap paint set. It ain't Winsor and Newton. But it'll do, yeah. Mine's more Mr. Bloody nowadays. Oh, bless him, my Dave. Oh, I'll tell you what, when I met him many years ago now. Oh, he was a diva, bless him. Lovely. Convoy's my favourite film. There we go then. We're all on a convoy. But yeah. We all reminisce, don't we? Right, so I just want that a little bit harsher. As in that area where it's grounded. Now, this wheelbarrow's obviously got this other leg over there sort of thing, and I don't want it to look like it's sort of up in the air, but I do sort of need to ground it somewhat, and then I'm going to have to sort of bring some shading over there, but I'll do that when I've taken off the masking fluid, because don't let me forget I've put masking fluid on there. That's all I'll say. I do have a tendency of forgetting I've got masking fluid on things. Right, one of my favourite. My barret was handsome. Oh, there we go. Look at you. Oh, we're all going down memory lane with our men now. Or ladies, depending. You know, or whoever your partners are. You know. Each to their own, as long as you're happy. I meant who lights my fire. I love it. Oh, goodness me. Right, I'm going to draw. No, listen, let my Dave, bless him, with all his wrinkles and all his wisdom, I love him to bits. Bless him. Wouldn't change him for the world. Oh dear, he's a character. Well, he's a brawny boy. So yes, he's got a very interesting and lively past to him. Let's put it like that. Right, I'm going to show you now another little tip, hint, whichever you want to call it. We're going to do a reflection now. So Mr. Barrow's coming back out. Now, the way I do my reflections is really easy. Now, everyone's got their own way. Gel plates and bits and pieces and all the rest of it. I go to... What do I go to? You know, I'm not going to be able to find it now. It's invisible. And this is what happens when you use, like, invisible bits of stuff. Where is it? So, you know, when you can't find what you need, you're then going to use something else. Yes, aren't you just, Liz? There we go. Sorted. Right, so you can use the backing off. Yeah, you can use anything like that. So all I've got here is you can put it down if you want and what's it, but put it where you got to remember where the wet ink is, because if you forget and you put your hand in it, you're going to end up with a card that looks probably like Lisa's is going to look in a minute, with ink everywhere. All right. So now the first thing I want to do is I am now going to, now remember that's there, yeah, I'm putting it down on top of that, so I know that I'm not going to have any accidents. I say it's going to happen though, you know it is, isn't it? Hi Ruth, I love my Andrew, it makes me, oh, I love it, bless, colourful. So bless, I mean my Dave, he tells me he loves me every day. We don't celebrate birthdays or anything like that because it's one of them, isn't it? So hard when we no longer... Yes, I know, Chris, and that's another thing. And, you know, again, just let's be mindful of that. So I don't want to upset anybody, but it's also nice to reminisce over your memories. So this is wet ink on this side, yeah? I'm going to turn it over, and that's my perfect reflection. So I am absolutely going to turn it round, and I'm going to turn that round because wet ink, you can see the shininess, and I'm going to bring it as close as I can to here. Now, when I put it down, I'm just going to get the brush and I'm going to just do some lines, nothing major. And that's lines of this, nothing drug related. Yeah, and then I'm going to take it off. And then I've got myself sort of a scatter. See, I mean, I've got another little barrow there. And if I wanted to, I could reuse that, yeah? So, knowing that you've got wet ink... in my case, oh, there you go. Even better when that happens. If he's not a good one, get rid. Don't sit there waiting for the day for you to think, oh, I should have done it years ago. You've got to enjoy your life while you're still here. If you are happy, sort it out, and like you say. So fair play to you, girl. Right, so let's put Mr. Barrow back. Jack. Every time I look at this card now, I'm going to think of Jack. Jack Barrow. Oof. Gosh, honestly, this heat's just no good for us, that's all I'll say. Right, so we now have a lovely reflection. Now, obviously, I'll put my little birdie on and we've done the reflection and stuff like that. On this one, again, I'm going to alter it because I'm not going to replicate exactly. So I don't know whether I'm going to put something there. And if I do, obviously, I'm going to do that repeat. Now, I'm just going to have a look at my brush and it looks dry. Yeah. So I'm just going to show you, and I just want to prove to you that this was a painting brush, yeah? And then when it's dry, you're going to watch me do it now. Look at this, look. It just comes off. There you go. Tease it, tease it, tease it. Look at that. Off. Right, now, let me just, I'm putting the brush there, so I'm not doing anything untoward with it. Wouldn't dream of. No, so I'm now going to bring over water, yeah, because I've took all the product off. Let me get my paint. Whoop. Go back into my green. And there you go. Look at that. Paint. Yeah, I can paint. Yay. So that just proves, yeah, you don't need to spend money. I mean, if you want to, feel free. Yeah, so I'm looking at that. No problems at all with that brush at all. Nothing stuck to the hair or anything. Okay, so please, a pot of Vaseline. I mean, you haven't got to have a pot like this. You have them little round tins, or even the chapstick. You know, just rub it on the stick thing. You know, then yeah, see, easy. So anyway, that's that. So that's a really useful little hint and tip, because I don't want you like wasting your money on products you don't need to. So I'm just going to put this safe so I can see it over there. Right, so let's have a look at this project now. So I've got my masking fluid still on my barrow, nice and dry. I'm going to put some trees on now. So the trees I used, and these are lovely tree, is this one here, and that's TE38. Now, all I'm going to do is paint on the greenery with paint. So I'm actually going to stamp this down in brown. So all I'm going to use is fallen leaves. I'm going to get my little plate, my block. It's very unusual for me to use a block, but there you go. So let's pop this together now. Right, so I actually I divulged in some what is it, All and Create in the sale, and brought some stamps. So I might have to have a play with those one of the days as well. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit just so I can put this over. Now, bear in mind, you've got a water reflection to think about. So whatever you put here, you've got to think about that reflection. Now, realistically, yes, it's reversed, and it depends on whether you want to be perfecto or not. Me, I don't really, you know, I don't. Oh, crikey, what's gone on there? We've got a bit of paint. Oh, lovely. We're going to have a bush there. See, now, in real time, look at that. I've got a lovely blob. I've got blobs here, blobs there. Blob. Oh, I've got blobs everywhere. So don't panic when you have stuff like this go on, because I'll show you in a second what you're going to do. I never worry. See, I've done it again. Look at this. I never worry when I hit ink anyway, because you'll get rid of it. So honestly, don't think, oh, that's it, I've just ruined my card. Please. Sorry. Time. No, love you. Enjoy. Speak to you later. Mwah. Give Maggie Moo lots of hugs and kisses. Right, so I'm going to bring, so if I'm going to bring it down to have a different length here, I am just going to put a little bit of, where have I got a bit of rough paper? Let's have an investigation. Let me grab that. There we go. Right, so I'm going to put that like so. There we go. Now, because I've got that masking fluid on, and this is what the problem was, which I didn't do on this one, I can actually go behind my wheelbarrow on this one where I didn't on the other, because I hadn't masked it off. So this one is going to be probably what I wanted to do in the first time, which it didn't end up doing on this card. So, you know, I'm not too worried or concerned. So I'm just going to do a couple of different prints so it looks like we've got a little bit of a forest behind. And I'm just going to come into this area here, and I'm just going to do it so that it looks like we've got a little bit of a brush sort of thing behind, which will be nice. Now, you've got wet ink there, so instead of me covering myself like I normally do, what I'd like you to do is just get a tissue and just dab over where you've got your masking fluid, because the last thing I want to do is just cause any more damage to the card, which I've already done anyway. Ah, dear me. But it's all good fun. There you go. Look at that. Perfecto. Right, so I'm all happy with that now. So I'm going to do the reflection. This bit here you're not going to see, so don't worry about it. They will have greenery up there, so don't worry about that. It's a good job we didn't put a birdie there, because you wouldn't see him, because we've got trees, which is nice. So we've got a different card again. But I do want to turn this around and now think about mirroring what we've got there. So again, because I'm a bit funny when I do reflections. I don't want to do a reflection, look at it and think, well, that's going the wrong way. Why have you done that way? You can just stamp it down. Now, a lot of people will just stamp it down and just go, yeah. But if you're going to do it in a way where you want everything to be right, and, you know, everybody's different, yeah, then all I'm going to do is just pop it down and just rub over with my nails, yeah. And it don't make any difference how clear that is, because we're going to put stuff over it. And just remember now, because I'm wiping off there, so I know that's the wet side as such, so I'm going to put that back down, because I don't want to put it down, stamp, and then I get a reflection somewhere else. So just be mindful of where you are actually putting things down now. And I think on Thursday's live, I'm going to be doing the gel plate, so which is going to be quite cool actually, because I don't usually get my gel plate out, if I'm honest. I always like watching other people with gel plates. So we've only got half of bits and pieces there. Let me just rub it on. There we go. This doesn't matter either if you don't hit it bang on or anything like that, because it's going to be a reflection. So don't worry when things aren't going how you want them to go. It's a reflection. No reflection is ever perfect. So again, don't put yourself under that pressure to think, well, I've missed a leaf out. You know, don't worry about it. Whoopie-doo. Do not worry about it. Right, so I'm going to go a little bit there, a little bit there. And this bit here is going to be quite dark. So, like I say, I ain't too worried about anything. There you go. Look at that. Perfect. I don't know where that blobby bit went, but there you go. Right, so there we go. Rub off the wet, just in case you want to use it again. And now you've got nothing there that's going to interfere on doing anything on your actual picture now. Now, you can move that out the way. I'm just going to put it up here at the top. I'm going to try and clear my area. And obviously, we've still got our little barrow here now, because I've got the tree out. And I'm obviously, we've got a card, this, and we're playing around with this. I'm just going to quickly, actually, let me just, whoop, get over there. I'm going to quickly just pop on a tree. And I can quite easily, in fact, I'm not going to put the branch on. I'm going to have a half a branch coming over, which is good for me. And then I'm probably going to do a little bit there. And probably a fullness here. Because at the end of the day, it's a tag. So don't put yourself under sort of too much pressure to be something else. I'm going to leave it like that, actually. Yeah. Let me just, yeah, that's it. There we go. Let me move that right before I cover something else in ink. Right, I'm going to move my reference picture up here now, out the way as such, for a second or two. Let me clear this, because I'm just covering myself in things which I don't need to. Right, so I hope everyone's had a good day today. I hope you've all done lots of nice things, had lots of fun. Let me move that over there so I can see it, and you guys can see it as well. Right then, so I don't need the tree anymore. Well, I don't think I do. And if I do, I know where it lives, in the packet, where I know where it is. That means I can find it if I need it. Right, so this is now where we're going to run like backgrounds and bits and pieces. So I don't need, let me put that in there. I don't need Mr. Barrow. Jack is going to see. Bless him. I don't know who he's going to see yet, but I'm sure we'll find something. Right, so what do I want to do now? So on this, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to put a bit of green and blue in to complement what we've got on there. And then I can start taking away these areas which I'm thinking to myself, crumbs, what have I done there? You know, so, and they happen. You know, I'm human just like you guys. I put fingerprints everywhere on stuff. And it's good that you see me do this, because then you're going to see me correct it. And give you an idea of what to do if it happens to you. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just pop a bit of green. Nothing fancy. That was mowed lawn. I've gone quite dark with these colours today. And then I'm going to just put a little bit of dark here, around here, a little bit there, maybe a bit there. That'll do. Hello, Steph. How are you doing, sweetie? Hopefully you've had a good, well, I know you've had a good day as such. So, yeah, all good. Nice of you to join us. And then all I'm going to do here is just gently, because all I want to do on this is just put a bit of, it's sort of just to match it up, really. Not really had a good day. Doctor's not sure if I had kidney stones. Oh, dear me. Kidney stones are bad. I had gallstones. I ended up having my gallbladder removed. And I've had nothing but problems since my gallbladder's been removed. But that's another time for us to share, because you don't want to hear the ins and outs of my stomach. A bit very. Oh, goodness me. Hopefully there's nothing serious with your grandson, my sweet. Your grandchildren always worry you more than your own children. On here, because let me just, might as well, I can finish this off quite quickly if I'm honest. I can take off. Now, this is what I love about this masking fluid. Look at this. You haven't got to scrape it around forever. Look at that. It's not going to kill off your card. It doesn't do any damage. Just look at this. Look at that. So this is why I've got you the link, because this stuff is absolutely brilliant. And like I say, I am being totally transparent with you. Every sale, I do get a small commission off it. And I mean, it is small, you know, crikey. Yeah. There you go. I'm honest. Hope they sort you out. Yeah, definitely. Are you able to disclose what's wrong with your grandson, my sweetheart, or is it private? Obviously, if it's private, keep it that way. You haven't got to share anything. But obviously, you did mention he was poorly, so hopefully, wait for a scan for you, for your gallbladder. Oh, crumbs, yeah. Right, I'm just going to finish this tag off really, really quick, just so you can see his temperature. Oh, goodness me. Oh, dear. Oh, it sounds like he's got a really bad case of tonsillitis then. Oh, dear. Not good. Quite a few of my grandchildren have suffered with that. I've been in and out of blooming hospital and all sorts. They scare the life out of you, your kids do. Right, now, well, your grandchildren. Your kids you can deal with, but when it's your grandkids, you feel more helpless, I think. Right, so I've put quite a big blob of green and, you know, I've just moved it around. So don't worry. You know me and my big blobs of colour. There we go, that'll do. Right, so paint is brilliant because you can do so much with it and it gives you a layer, you know. Honestly, your children you can deal with because, you know, your mom sort of thing, but your grandchildren, it's so difficult because you've got your child that's in distress because their child's in, yeah, oh God, it's horrible, you know. So I really do feel for you there, sweet. It is a difficult one. I'm just going to get a bit of brown, and this is the darker brown like a chestnut. And again, these colours are just basic primary colours. There is no sort of speciality in any of this. And again, if you wanted to just put a bit of brown through that tree, you can do. Totally up to you, because I'm going to put a bit of yellow on that. Thank God I feel. Yeah, bless you. That's what we're all here for, to support each other. Plain and simple. Right, let me just put a bit of yellow into this. Now, I mean, I could quite easily leave it. I want to obviously paint the wheelbarrow red. I'm just going to put a bit of yellow in because, you know how I always say to you guys, when you look at trees, leaves, colours, they're all different colours. We'll have autumn coming soon. I know, I'm sorry I have to say it. But we'll have all the lovely reds and oranges and all those beautiful colours to play around with. Oh, I can't wait. Change of seasons, I love. Right, so I'm just dabbing this off. And again, just a bit of a change. Now, I'm just going to be ahead of myself on this particular little tag. And I'm just going to paint little old Jack Sparrow. Bless him. I'm just going to flick over a bit of red in places. Oh, I've gone over a line, dear me. Oops a daisy. Well worked. Right, so, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of red just in that wheel. I mean, there's some weird old wheelbarrows around. I was looking for reference pictures and like they're all green, some brown ones made out of wood. I'm thinking, Christ, you do a search for a wheelbarrow. I expected to see all sorts of madness, but it's a bit difficult finding now reference pictures for wheelbarrows. It was an odd one, that's all I'll say. Odd, very odd. Right, so I'm just going to put a bit of shadowing under places now. And that's just me. You know, I do like to sort of try and keep things into sort of perspective, yeah? So what you've got to think about is if you're adding little bits here and there, let's try and keep it all in perspective. Now, you could quite easily leave that dry off. I'm just going to put a bit more green on here, as you do, a bit more greens. Oh, bless. There we go, love it. And if you're happy with that, leave it. Simple as, yeah? Let me just whack a bit of heat on. We can put a nice sentiment on that, really, to be fair. So that's a bit of a rush job here because I want to do the main bit on the main card now, as you do. So I'm just going to dry it off. And then if I want to add more layers on, I can add more layers on, which I probably will because I probably won't leave it like that, you know me. But the little wheelbarrow leaning up the tree, well, the wall or what, I don't know, where is he leaning up? I don't know. It's an interesting one. Bless. But yeah, right, I'll let him dry and we'll come back to him. As we're doing this one, I'll keep adding bits to that tag, all right? So let me just put that over here a second because where am I? I've lost where I am. Move, let me get a space. Let me try and keep things tidy for you lot. Right, there we go. There we are. Oh, okay. Right, okay. So we're back on our main piece. So I did use a yellow Posca pen on this. So let me grab that a minute. So yellow Posca pen, that will be for adding some detail around those bushes area and stuff. But now what I want to do now is actually play around and start to manipulate that water area, as well as putting in the detail in the piece. Now, you can always tell now when I don't like a piece, I'll add water splashes on it. Because if you can see the rawness in the detail in the piece, and I'm happy with it. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, this will be a fitting card then, really, Steph. I love old-fashioned stuff, you know, when they've tainted and they've got character to them. I think it's brilliant. Right then, so let me just move that over like that, and then I can always put that tag there, just so I don't forget it, basically. Right, so we've got a bit of paint here now. I've got a bit of wetness to my brush. I just want to move that around, because I don't really want to sort of kill it with a load of colour that doesn't really have to go there. So there's one blob, 2 blobs gone without causing any night rage. No, bless you. I'll see you all soon, sweetness. And all I'm going to do there is just dab off. And to me, that's all good. Bless. Oh, I don't like it when people are poorly. It's not nice, is it? Even worse when we're such a close group together and it's like we all sort of support each other. So, yes, night right, sweetheart. Big hugs and kisses. Boom. Right, so with regards to this, like the wheelbarrow now. So on the back of here, I'm going to do like I'm going to build up an area with the darker green. And all I'm going to do is just play around. And I'm going to go over what I've stamped, apart from obviously the wheelbarrow. And I'm doing it quite rough. And that's sort of going to be sort of the back area. Now already I've taken that in. Let's have a look, so what I can see, what you can see, what I can see, and I can see what you can see. It's always a good sort of way of knowing what's what. I'm just going to pull that colour. Now, because, let's turn the card round now and let's think about the reflection part of it. And I'm going to just I'm going to put that there, and I'm just going to put some water down. And all I want to do now is bring up, and I do not want it to look perfect at all. The rougher, the better. Yeah, it's a reflection. And don't worry about the brown going into it. Let's bring it into that. Let's do that. There we go. Okay, that's it. It's done and dusted. So I want to rinse that. Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. You just want to pop round and have a cup of tea with somebody and you can't do. Yeah, that's the frustrating part, I'm afraid to say, when we're all crafting together. But that's part and parcel, you know. Part and parcel. Right, there we are. Okay, sorted. So I'm going to turn it round. So I've now got my reflection. And I want to concentrate on the niceties up here now. So what do I want to add in? Well, I'm going to add a lighter green in. So the lighter green, and like I say, that paint set, just like this, you've got light green, dark green, all sorts of nonsense. I don't want too much on there. If you think you've got too much, just pop a bit on either on a plate or on your mat or anything like that. And bear in mind how wet you're getting your paper. It's so easy to forget when you're doing stuff like this, just how much water. But like I always say to you, if you use a good quality card, you ain't going to go wrong. Now, again, we've got a reflection. So let's not forget what we're actually showcasing here. We've got to put these different colours in the reflection, yeah? Okay, turn it around. Bam, look at that. Easier than you think these reflections are. It just scares a lot of people. And I must admit, when I've put the card up for the workshop on Saturday, I've had that many private messages where people are so worried about the card. And I said, we'll break it down like this. You know, that's all we're going to do. Break it down step by step. So easy. Right, so I can stamp if I wanted to now. But what I'm actually going to do is just get some Posca. Give it a shake. Now, you can blob it onto here if you want. I don't even know if this is going to work because it's an old one. But which is fine. So it's actually going to move into that ink, which is still a bit wet, which at the minute is good because I just want to, I'm actually going to move this around as a bit of background. Got the brush again. No water. I'm trying to keep that as dry as I can. But I am just going to move around that bit of yellow, because until that Posca dries, when it's dry, it stays put. But while it's still wet, we can move it around. So that's just given me the interpretation that I've got some sort of, maybe some flowers or some light depth going on in a different place, okay? So I now want to think about bringing in the trees and putting that together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just get a bit of that darker one, and I've got some water here. So all I'm going to do now is just roughly just think about where, if there were leaves on this, where would they be? Where would I sort of look and think to myself, oh, that looks, you know, like a tree and pretty, and oh, look how nice that looks, sort of thing. You know, when you're looking in a forest and you see all that lovely depth of colour. And that's all you're doing here, is just adding little bits here and there. And bear in mind, we've already got that backscape. And when I say the backscape, it's like what you see in the background. Now I'm going in with this bit of colour that I put here, and I just want to just play around, just putting that colour in. Now I can stamp on here, and I can get the colour with the oxides and move it around if I wanted to. Again, it's your choice, it's your design. You do you. You know, don't always think you've got to copy and do exactly the same as what I do. All I'm going to do is give you the tools to use your imagination to go, oh, that looked nice like that there. And Lisa done that there, but she said, let's try that there. Let's have a bit of imagination. And yeah, you go for it, yeah? That's all I want to do. And if I do that, it's a blooming bonus. Brucey bonus, yeah? So, for me, I'm quite happy with that. Now, again, we've got to think about the reflection. So, let's turn it around. And I'm going to think about that darker area. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add it with that water. And because it's a mess here, and the water, I don't know whether I'm going to do a still water or have a bit of movement. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be quite scatty, and maybe even do a couple of lines just over in places. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because with water, there's always a ripple effect. And when you look at pictures of water, it never stays in one place. So, like I say, this is going to be different to the original, but it's going to give you the ideas and the interpretation to actually have a go. And if you want to use my picture as a reference picture, that's fine. I didn't actually choose a particular picture as a reference for this particular project. This was just something, unfortunately, out of my head. So, yeah. So you can sort of get an idea now of what's going on. And on this one, we had wreaths in that sort of water area. And then I built it up with other trees. This one's going to be a lot different. So, let's have a look. Where are we at? I'm just going to give it a bit of a blast and dry, and then I'm going to take off that masking area, I think, because I'm quite happy with how that background looks. I might put Jack Sparrow, I might paint him red and bring him to life a little bit, because then we've got to put the red on here and bring that together. Now, because we've used a fair bit of water, you are going to get things curl and move, which is fine. It up, move it, turn it over, flatten it. The heat will re-flatten your card. If you leave it there too long, it'll curl back up. Turn it over, put your heat on, and it'll flatten it back down, okay? So there's always little ways around things, and if you're unsure, just give it a wiggle. There you go. Right, so let's turn this. So again, so all I've done is curl. You can see what I'm doing, yeah? A nice big blob. Look at that. No paper was damaged. Look at that. Perfect. And that's come off in one. Absolutely brilliant. And that is how good that masking fluid is. And you've seen me put it on, you've seen me take it off on this one, you know, so you know that you've seen me put it on, you've seen me use it, you've seen me paint over it, you've seen me take it off, yeah, in real time as well. You know, so it's not something, well, was that any different to that? No, it wasn't. It was just because I was setting up for the card, and then obviously I've done it in time so you can see, but I can crack on with the card while I let that dry. So it was just down to the fact I'm not going to sit here singing to you for 10 minutes waiting for masking fluid to dry. Goodness me, I'd scare the life out of you if I'd done that. Okay, so let me just paint this in first of all. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some pencils. So it is watercolour pencils, and I use Mondelez. So I've got black because I want to do his wheels black for starters. And I suppose I could do red actually, maybe. Oh, hold on, let me get a sharpener. Let me get the sharpener out a minute. See if I can break the lead while I'm at it. Normally that's, oh, that was close. Crikey. That's not the best at all. They don't like being sharpened, these don't. Anyway, so I'm going to do black tyre, black wheel. Now, you've got little white bits here, and that's obviously with Tracy stamps, she's put a lot of different detail in. Again, you do your interpretation, etc, etc. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, on this one, I'm just going to bring the handles down into black. I'm just going to bring that under here. You know, just that little bit of under. Just going to pop that there. So that's that. Now, what you've also got to remember is you've got a reflection. So, now I'm not going to do it all black. I'm not going to colour it in like I've done that. But I'm going to do a little bit of a scrat. And when I mean scrat, I mean sort of, how do I describe scrat to you guys? I'm just touching the ink in places so I know it's there. Yeah, so you can see I've coloured it in. So scribble, scratching over. I don't know how else to say it to you, but yeah, that's about it really. Now I'm not going to paint. I'm painting on that with paint, but on here, because I want to put water to it and move it, I'm actually going to just put a little bit of red just in places, and I'm going to go out. Because as I say, water never will give you a perfect show of where it is. So that it will reflect off. Okay. It's about the best way I can do to describe it. On this one, as I said, it nearly went in the bin. So this one, I've actually learned a lot from this one to this one. So, and that's where I can say to you in the best way, you always learn every time you make a card and you create something, whatever it is, you'll learn so much from that for the next time and the next time and the next time. So don't be so hard on yourself when you're all saying, didn't like that and that was it and I couldn't get that. You know, you're you, I'm me. I do things differently to you, you do differently to me, sort of thing. So please stop being so hard on yourself, because I'm seeing some amazing stuff that you guys are actually creating. You want to be so very, very proud, you know. And some of these people, when they're posting, it's like, I never thought I could do this and I could do that. And I'm thinking, wow, it's incredible stuff that you're doing. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So please just keep being you. You know, you're not me. I'm not you. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you're doing some amazing work. So let me have a look from a distance. Yep, I can definitely see a wheelbarrow and a reflection, yeah. And then this crazy little devil here, I've got to do something with this. Let me just put a little bit of something going on here. So, you know, when I said to you, I'm going to start adding bits and stuff, and, you know, and this is the thing. Just don't overdo when you're adding, because the last thing you want to do is add and then you lose your card. Now, because this is up a wall, I'm going to do it where there's maybe the stuff growing over it, maybe. Yeah, why not? So with that in mind, I'm just going to do a couple of little, well, I say little, you aren't going to do it with that. So let me just grab, no, I'm going to grab the brush that we used earlier to do the masking fluid, just to show you. Right, so I've just put that into water, and all I'm going to do now is, let's have a look. Yeah, I think we're all good there. Let me put that there, put a bit of water there. Right, so, and then I'm just going to, oh yeah, that's better. What I'm going to do is just flick up now and just do just so there's like a bit of greenery coming out. And again, you haven't got to, if you don't want to, you can put a fern on there. That'd be quite nice, actually. Yeah. Bit of a fern, bit of a growth going on, you know. And then again, if you see little areas and you think, so, well, you know, I want a little bit of a leaf there, and do it. You have not got to see everything or do anything for the same as what I've done. You could have something totally different here. You could have flowers, you know. Could be a really pretty garden of flowers and just different things going on. Just make sure you mix your colours up so it gives you that bit of depth. Because I'm just going to put some little bits on here. So that actually looks like it's overgrown now. And well, if somebody's abandoning it, that's exactly what would happen. And like you've just seen, that brush is perfectly fine. Same brush, number 1 brush. Yeah, no worries at all. So I'm going to let that dry. Now I've just had a water droplet on it. So that might end up with water droplets on it yet. We'll see. Right, so let's get this water done. Let me get me bleed proof. So this is where this makes the great reflections. So let me, I've got arthritis in my thumb and things are getting a bit difficult for me to open now and again. So I do apologise. If it looks like, God, what's she doing? But yeah, it's one of them. Age is catching me. Little devil, honestly. Right, so all I've done is squirt a bit in the lid. I'm just going to make sure this brush is as clean as possible. There we go. Right, so I've got that ready there, got that ready there. What I want to do is just move this around. So I am going to use a different brush now. So this is going to be a cleaner one because I haven't used it. So let me just, yeah, right, that's got white water coming out. So what I want to do now is just move this along. So we've got quite harsh lines, and what I want to do is start softening, because water is soft. As in, when I say it's soft, it's not soft, it's water, but the reflection and the look of it will be the softer look. So what I want to do now is I'm just going to put some water on the brush and move this along. And this is going to make this obviously wet. And that will then help then for you to add anything else on. So you can go over this and you can actually add more blue on if you wanted to. You can add more white into it. You can add whatever you want, really. And then towards the end, obviously, there's going to be like the final touches and little bits and pieces. So this is nice and wet on here now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch with white. And if you want a shoreline, you'd put like a harsher line there. I'm not going to put a shoreline on this one. I'm now going to just go over just in places and just skip along. And all I'm going to do here is allow the white to do its own thing at the moment. And then if I don't like it, I'll then start adding just different bits and different products on. I could do pan pastels on it. I could do soft pastels, sticks. There's loads of different things that you can add on to give you that sort of reflective, you know, this sort of soft look that you're going for now. And this is where, if you overdo something, yeah, you've got to be on it quick, because you leave it and you leave it and leave it, and that's where you'll lose your actual picture. And this is what happened with me earlier. I sort of, well, I was in between phone calls and talking with people, and I got sidetracked terribly today. It's just one of them days in this heat. But that was me. So I know that I'm going to darken this up. So I'm not too worried about the outer parts on this. I want to concentrate and make sure that area there looks like water, basically. So I'm just going to scat over. I'm here again with my scatting. There we go. And I am going to put on, I'm probably going to, in fact, yes, I'm going to use, when it's dry, I am going to use just a pastel, just to go over, and you'll see what I do with that. So I'm going to leave that there. But you can also use a pastel pencil as well, which are fabulous and will give you an absolutely fabulous effect. Now I'm just going to go in and just do a little bit more, sort of more precise now with my dots of the yellow Posca. And then I've also got to think about what's in the water. Yeah. So I'm just going to be a little bit more mindful now of what's going where, and I am going to just move around the yellow in the water, because you're never going to get that sort of clear dot in a water. And I'm going to leave a couple of them as they are, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of water just to move them around a little bit more, because I just want it to be a little bit more in your face, and I want to add some grasses and stuff just in that backdrop there. Right, I'm just going to dry this off because again we're going to do another layer. I'm just moving things out the way because we're getting all chaotic again, as you do. I like chaos. There might be a time where I actually get some sort of a clear area, but I don't think I'd be able to work in it. Right, so now I did use on the first one these little bits here just for back on the first one, just along here, but I don't need it on that. So that one, and unless you want to put your little robin on or sit him somewhere, or you could put a penguin on it if you want. I don't know, it's one of them. But yeah, you could put all sorts. You could even put one of the little cats sitting in there poking his head out. No, it's all right, Jackie, no problem. Hello, sweetie, hope you're well. This area here, so you've got 2 of these in this heart. Now you can actually utilize that as foliage. So it just depends on how brave you are, whether you want to go quite hefty with the darker bit and the thicker bit, or you want to go quite light with that smaller heart. Now I am going to go with a smaller heart, and the only reason I'm doing that is I want that little tiny bit, and I just want to run just a little bit of a grass line along here, and I'm going to use the brown because we've got plenty of brown paint on there. And all I'm going to be mindful about now is making sure that when I'm actually, see how we've got the line there that goes into that full heart print, I only want those little bits that are sticking up, and I only want them where I'm actually going to be able to utilize them for that bit of growth in the background sort of thing. And if you do have a little bit of a double print and it comes down, that's okay, because at the end of the day we can take that into here because we've got the reflection we've got to think about, yeah? So just remember, if you make a mistake, play around with it. It's not gonna, you're not gonna lose what you've just put down. Now, because I know there's paint there, and obviously that's still wet, I can just move this around just a little bit, nothing too major, just to pull it together into that. Let me just have a pull that up. Yeah, with all the reflection on the lights and that, it's just a little bit difficult just to see certain things. But all I'm doing is just taking that down because it's just that little backdrop for me. And then because I've got that backdrop and I've got that layer, that then just gives me that little bit there for those flowers, which is perfect. There we go. And again, all I'm doing is just moving things around. Because you've got that bit of water and that reflection, all you're doing is sort of mirroring one to the other. And I've seen people, when they do reflections, they forget about the actual reflection part. So don't ever forget, you've just got to remember there's little bits of colour that you've just got to add in or move around so it gives you that perception. Yeah. So you've got, you know that there's a barra there, but your main focus is actually on the barra itself. Okay. So that's the little bits there on there. Let me move this out the way. And then what we got left, then that was it really, isn't it? Apart from the shading now, that's given us a nice layer. So once we've got that shading in, we can then put the white in and really just pop that area. So let's just do that. Let me move that out the way. So what I'm going to use now just to start bringing the layer in is we've got scorched timber and we've got black soot. Now before I do anything else, I want to put a bit of blue. So we're going to go back to our tumbled glass. And anywhere that you want to add now or put into, main focus on Jack. Oh, crikey. You're here again, Lise. You're such a bad influence. But yeah, definitely the main influence on Jack. Oh, dear Lord. Getting myself all of a tither. So all I'm doing is just adding that blue because I know I'm going to move it around. But it just gives you that covering. Because when we start putting the white over, yeah, and we move it across, that's where you're actually going to have that reflection of that water. Hi Nettie, hope you're well, sweetie. Lovely of you to join us tonight. So we're losing it in that sort of misting sort of area now, which is exactly what you want, basically. And again, if you wanted to put any, I'm going to go with the darker green. And the only reason now we're going with a darker green is because we're actually going to bring the picture together. And that just means that we're just going to put those additional layers in for sort of that pulling it all together. Well, welcome. Yes, welcome. I'll have to start learning basics in different languages here, you know. It's fabulous. Oh, crikey, bless you. You see, I've done this card and I looked at it, and there's several times I've looked and I thought, oh, do you know something? I don't know whether this is a card or... But then the more I look at it and I think to myself, do you know something? It's a cracking little card, really. And it's masculine. Because we're all crying out for, oh, we ain't got enough masculine cards. Well, we have actually. We just choose not to blooming use them. You know, so I think really and truly, if we started to pull things together just that little bit more, we would actually be a lot more happy with the cards that we've got, because really this is more, you know, Father's Day, birthday, etc., anniversary, anything like that. That could be a card that you can use for those particular occasions, for the male or the masculine element of the relationship. So easy done, you know. Right then, I'm going to get scorched timber, and I'm just going to dip in. Now, where I'm making it quite dark, and I'm going to bring it back out with some colour in a minute. We've got the guidelines there for a reason. So I'm going to go over brown where the tree, because I don't want it black. There's going to be that around the edge will do it enough, you know. So try and sort of have it in your head, and sort of when you're pulling your card together, remember that, you know, you don't want everything to be really dark and out of place, and balance it in that sense. So scorched timber's there. Let's do black soot. Let me get my brush. There we are. Let's put that up so everyone can see. So they're all oxide, and I just love the way that they blend. And if you don't like the card at the end with oxide, we put the water on and we get a really nice effect. Fabulous. It really is a win-win situation, because if you don't like what you end up with, then we can change it to something nice then. So there's always a method in my madness somewhere along the lines, yeah? Little hints and tips, that's all it is. So let's build it around. I'm just going to be mindful now of how bad my hands are getting, because, you know, there's the amount of times I put blobs in places which I shouldn't really be putting blobs in. And I don't want to ruin cards, but it's one of them. I'm terrible. Right, let's just tuck that corner. Bring it around. So it's all about sort of bringing everything together as best as you can, just in a different way, different format, you know. There we go. There's always plenty on your brush. You know, don't be so quick to keep all the time. Now, I do want to put a little bit of that blue back up here, because I just want the focal point to be a little bit softer. So let me just get tumble glass again. It's a lovely colour, tumble glass is. And all I'm going to do here is just be mindful of my hands and my knuckles and everything else. And I'm just going to take it in. Now, when you're going over a darker colour, the blue's going over the black, lovely, but just be mindful of your brush. I'll put it there so you can see. And it will cover it. I mean, obviously it's not going to take away the black, but it'll bring it down. And when I mean by bring it down, it's not going to be a harsh black as what we've got. And sometimes that really adds a lovely effect to a card. So again, it's another layer and another way of thinking about bringing things together. Now, again, you can quite easily go over different places if you wanted to with the blue. And again, just lift up. If you feel that the card's too dark in places, you're just going to lightly go over so it gives you that misting effect, okay? Now, on the original card, I've done some yellow dots around, but obviously that was because I'd done like a foliage, so you were looking into a foliage. And you can do that if you just use your tree and just pop it over. And I'm not going to do it on this one because I am going to just get the brown, and I am... brown brush, I'm just going to use the fallen leaves, and this is where I'm just going to really darken that edge now. And I'm just going to literally just finish that edge of the card, ready for that little last bits of white now that I'm going to put in. And then your card is done. And then you can look at your tag then and see if you need to do anything additional to your tag. So I'm just going to take that little bit there, and I'm just going to take that little bit into there. Now I am just going to bring that back together again. And so I'm just going to turn it over, because we've got sort of wet product down, because it doesn't dry straight over because we've got so many layers. So you can just see how it's still reflecting. If you're unsure and you're comfortable to do it, just move it a little bit. Yeah. And that takes off. It takes off a lot, to be fair. But not a lot as in, it's just that dampness that you can just see. Right, so let's get some finishing touches on. So I'm going to go back in with the Posca, because I think the flowers just, you know, those little dots of colour will bring your eye to that lovely red on old Jack. God bless him. Oof. I don't know. It made me die, those you lot. Honestly, you're terrible. Such a bad influence. Flew through this tonight. We have flew. And do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put just some little dots here and there. And I'm going to move them around in a second. And I'm actually going to just put a couple in the tree, just to complement, so it looks like either we've got a light reflection or we've got some little flowers going on. Now I am just gonna, that's it, I've got water on the go here. So all I'm going to do is just move that Posca around just before it sets. And you can always tell, because you get like a little dot just before. It's like you're knocking the head off something. It's quite a weird sort of thing, but there's no problem with that at all. Like I say, it just gives an effect. And then I'm going to go in with some white, and I'm just getting the tip, and all I'm going to do there again is just have the perception of flowers. So there is nothing particular that I'm actually doing here. I am physically not going to be putting in, I've got a little bit of blob, too much water, just dab it off. Yeah. If the water, if you're using a water brush and it's too much for you, just grab yourself a normal brush. Let me just add some water on it, take the water off so it's damp, and then we can go in and we can just add those little sort of areas. I mean, they could be anything from just little daisy flowers, you know, through to whatever you like, you know, and you can dot it with your finger if you want to. That'll blend it off. And again, you can wet your brush, move it so it makes your green a lighter green, and then add on, because you've got a little bit of wetness to here. Let me just, yep, there's water there. If you've got a little bit of wetness and you add your Posca, that's just going to move with that water anyway. So you really haven't got much to do with it. And look at that. I think that's a really pretty effect on the barra. We'll go over it in a second with the watercolour pencil, just to highlight different areas. But we're now just going to put some like little bits of water on this. So that's more or less dried off now. So going on to something else and then coming back to it will allow things to dry, so you're not ruining things. Now, I am going to get, now, this might be the last time that you see these brushes, because I've got a new set coming tomorrow. So this is a 1 centimetre long brush. The new set, like I say, I'll be here tomorrow, and I have put a link in on my Facebook albums with regards to any associated links, and all I get is a small commission, so I'm being totally transparent with you. They are associated Amazon links, and like I say, any sale off it is a very small commission that I get. Okay, so that's that out the way. Now you can add into where these little flowers are just little bits of highlight if you wanted to, so it actually looks like there's some more little flowers going on. And then if that's the case, then we've got to sort of bring over. Now, detailing brushes are fabulous. The only thing you've got to be careful with, you get so carried away with these that before you know it, you've actually got too much going on. Now, if you look at reference pictures with water in the sea, for instance, there's always a little area where I've got a certain amount of lines and then they sort of disappear. So try and do that with any sort of thing that you're doing with regards to this. Because if it's a water reflection, you don't need a line going across constantly. You just need those little highlights here and there where you feel you need them. Yeah, and if you have, so that to me that's too thick there, and I'll wet it off in a sec, which I'll show you now. So I've just put water on the brush, and all I'm going to do is just move it, and then that'll just give it that, again, that look that the water's just very soft and you've just got those movements here and there. You know, so let's see, let's have a think how far up we're going to go. I think that'll be about right, really. Let's have a look, see what you can see. Yeah, that's given me enough. So ideally now I want to just put some like little highlights here and there. So this is what makes a difference, as I always say, between you and other people, is those extra little bits of detail. Yeah, so that means whether it's going around the wheel here, whether it's sort of highlighting little bits of like the lip line on the barrow, for instance, maybe from the back part, you can put a little line across there. You want to add little bits here around there. You might even want to put a little highlight on the handles for it. It's whatever you feel you want to do. You might want to put some little highlights, unless you've got a sunbeam coming down. I wouldn't put highlights on the trees. I'd maybe put a light or dark green in the tree if you needed to do anything like that. Here, for instance, now I just want to sort of put a little bit more of colour there. And the reason why I just want to do that, let me just clean that off, is find a brush, Lisa. Let me go back to my trusties. There are my trusties, they're back. Right, so here now, because we've got this area with the flowers, for instance, and I just want to move them colours around, as you do. There we are, sorted. That's perfect. And all you're going to do is just literally blend your layer, and if there's anywhere which is too much, or you think to yourself that looks too harsh, just put the water on it and move it, just very, very lightly. So to me now, we've got a barrow on a card. There's nothing wrong with that. You can put some birds in the sky, you can put some cloud in if you want, but to me, matte and layer that's perfect. If you wanted to add the additional foliage round, feel free to do that. I'm just going to black out this card, well, not black it out, but let me just put the lid on that so I can't cause any more chaos. So what I'm going to do on this now is just, I've got that, I'm sure I've still got plenty of brown on there. And if you want to double check, there we go, look at that. A little bit here, a little bit there. What you got to do is just if you're doing sort of a matching set scenario, you just want to complement each other and just make sure you're adding what you need to add. Really, let me just have a little bit of green here. We're just going to bring that down. There we go. There we go. So there we are. Right, let me just, it's whether or not we put water splashes on now, so let me just put that down there out the way. Okay, so again, no, it's all right. Miss Sunshine, do you have to shake the bottle of, no, don't shake the bottle. Right, so this, I'm being honest with you now. So this bottle, I actually do squirt. So if you did turn it upside down, there's runnings in there. So I'm going to show you my other bottle, which is brand new, because I have plenty of these, because I never not want to be without it. So I've always got a spare. So this is brand new, never been opened. Okay, and this is what you're going to get. Okay, so obviously it's been on its side and that, but it is a solid mass. So it's not something that you can really tip out, or it's not like an acrylic wet and squirt it and whatnot. It really is, it's not something you need to shake. You literally just do off the lid. And what I normally do, and I'll show you this now, and in fact I'll do it, let me just see, is there any ink? Oh no, not that one. I'll do this one. Yeah, so what I do is I go into it and I'll give it a good stir to make sure I get everything off the sides and that, and then there's a nice blob there, and then I just put it in the lid, make sure I get it all off my brush because I don't want to waste it, because to me it's like gold dust. You can also have gel pen. Gel pens are rubbish, I'm sorry, I'll tell it straight, Nettie. Gel pens are a waste, they're going to damage your work. I've got gel pens coming out my ears, you never see me using them. And you never see me using them because there's a reason. I'll show you my gel pens just to show you straight that you rinse that off now, obviously. So there's no way I'm putting a gel pen across that. So gel pens, let me just grab me some gel pens. Oh, gel pens. Oh, there we go. Okay, so gel pens, there you go. So these by Susan. So I used to always use Uniball Signo Broad because that's what I had to use basically. Let me just show you gel pens. So gel pens, let's move that. Right, so we've got jelly roll pens, we've got gel pens. Yeah, they're pointless, they clog, they'll pull on your work. You know, get yourself a nice decent brush and use a decent white, you know, plain and simple. If I started putting this over here now, all it's going to do, there you go, it's not even working. Yeah, and it does work, by the way. But that's what you're going to do. It clogs on the ball. And that's all you're going to find that happens. You're going to keep going over, then you'll damage your paper, then you damage your work. So I'm sorry, I don't recommend using a gel pen on pieces like this. If you want to use them on little things to do, little dots and little things like that, fine. You can, let me just see if will it actually give me any white out? No, I mean, this has actually got ink in. That's another thing as well. There you go. Got all that ink in there, waste. So if you pull this out, this is where I've got to watch it. I'll get loads of ink everywhere. Yeah. Whoa. There's plenty of ink in there and it's coming through. It's wet ink. It's not dried up. Let's put it back in there. There we go. Okay. And I've blown down it just to make sure it's all gone in the right place. But no, I say it as it is. Nobody, you know, I'm not ruled over by anybody now to sort of say I can't say this, can't say that. See, I mean, look at that, it's a waste of money. You spend all this money on products that don't work, you end up putting them in the bin. That's another one over there that's gone, sort of thing. So in fact, actually, I'll tell you which one would work. The jelly roll will work. So these are cheaper and nobody goes on about these. Are good little pens, these also. Hold on, there you go. Oh, there we go. Look, we've got a little dot of white. Now, there's a bit of a difference between that dot of white. Yeah, there you are, look. So if I was doing this now and highlighting my work, I've got one decent white dot so far. None of them are any decent. And all it's doing is clogging up my work. So if I go in with a detail brush, yeah, there you go, one detail brush. Let me take off some of that. And a dot. Look at that. That white is white. You know, and I'm not just saying it for the sake of it. I've just shown it you. I'll go over the other bits because like they're not there. But you can clearly say that's white. Yeah, white. Right, so anyway. So I unfortunately, you know, I'll just say it as it is. So I don't mean to offend anybody. So please don't take that in a way, because it's not meant in a way or anything like that. But I'm not going to recommend something which is going to ruin my work at the end of the day. And or ruin your work either. You've just seen that. I will say, yeah, jelly roll. There you go. So if you want to use some, use one of them. But some of these ones that you buy at certain places, don't bother. So there you go. Struggling for years. Yeah, honestly, Lise. I brought mum gel pens and all that, and it's like, oh, crumbs. You know, especially all the glitter ones and that. Nah, sorry. Right then, let's put some water on. Now, you can actually splatter some white on, and if I was going to do that, I'd use this white. So, here you go. Brush, water, dab, yeah. And if you're going to, it's like you got your Posca splats, yeah. There you go. Why not? There you are. There you go. Oh, I quite like that now. Yeah, there you are. Sorted. Right, so white splats, and it's white paint, and it stays white. Doesn't disappear. Thank you for another. You're very welcome, Chris. So it's all right. You carry on, Sylvia. It's been lovely having your company, my sweetie. I'll see you all tomorrow on Amanda's live, because she's on her YouTube tomorrow. So hopefully I'll join you all then and see you all then. We'll catch up on the gossip, and I will be demonstrating then. I can catch up with you guys. Oh, bless you. It's lovely to have your company. Right, so there we go. So we've got some little splatters on that, and that actually looks really cute. I just want to, let me just put that back in the water. Red pencil. Right, so all I want to do here is just pull in just a little bit of an additional. If I want to pull it any darker or anything like that, because this is obviously in the ground, it's more of a rust than anything. So I've got my black, and again, this is just watercolour pencils. These are Mondaluras, and they are good. So I'm just going to go over there, and again, I'm just going to pull. And I know it's a rusty old thing, but do you know something? It's looking all right. Means it's old and rusty. And all I'm going to do is maybe just do a bit of back shading here. Maybe a little bit of shading there. And that's it, really. I mean, I could actually just, let me just take a bit of green off there. And maybe just work it around, just pulling things together. Just to pull that little bit of a rust, you know, through, just so it looks a bit dark and grungy. But again, you do what you want to do at the end of the day. You haven't got to worry about, like I say, copying or, you know, putting things in that you think, oh, that ain't going to look right. Do what you want, honestly. I love it when people go out their comfort zone and actually try things that they would never normally do. It's absolutely fabulous when you do that. I'm just going to put a couple of green flicks. Let me just do that because, and I'm going to use some paint on it. And I'm just going to squirt some water on the paint so it actually works. And I'm going to do light and dark, actually. So I'm going to start with the light green. There's a puddle there, which is lovely for me. And this is why having just a bog standard paint set will really help, because you can add so much into little bits and here and there. And because the paint goes over, you know, your stamping that you've done, it adds a lovely layer, you know. So now I'm going to have all this lovely grass going over and growing over my lovely little wheelbarrow, which is like in the midst of, I don't know, it's up the corner at the back of somebody's garden, this is. You'd fancy moving into a, I'm sure, I mean, I'm sure Alison wouldn't mind, but she showed a picture of her garden. It was just like an overgrown jungle, you know. So can you just imagine if you found this at the bottom of the garden or something? Be like, wow. See, that's given me creativity. You guys send me, like, you know, we have conversations privately and you show me different pictures of things that's going on. And it's like, wow, you know, that's like, it's quite inspiring. So don't always think, you know, that you're burdening, just getting in touch and stuff like that. I love chatting with you guys, so please do keep chatting. I love it. Right, so I'm just going to blend in, so we've got that big harsh little lines going on. So there we go. That's lovely. So I'm really liking the look of that tag now. So we can put a nice little sentiment on that for the gift. On the back, we can either spot. In fact, hold on. Let's put something on the back. We've got ink here. Let me spray it. Let me move it around. There we go. Let me just put a bit more on for the sake of it, and a bit more of that there. There we go. Right, okay. Let me just wipe that. Right, so a bit like a gel plate. Yeah, let's just move it around a little bit. There we go. Look at this. Yeah. Now, you can quite easily get a lovely piece of paper now. Oh, yes, I like that. Right, let me just dry that off a second. So that's the backing to the tag, and we get a nice piece of white card on that. That'll go lovely then with the gift set. Oh, look at that, we're nearly out of time. Well, I say we're nearly out of time. I'm not going to blow up or anything, but yeah. There we go. Right, so let's have a look. So that's that bit done. I'm happy with that. And then that's that bit done realistically. I just want to, like I said, I'm just going to quickly, very quickly, just put some little blades of grass just so we can just add that little bit of texture. Again, it's just another focal point because we've got a lot of dark there. And again, you can quite easily put some yellow running through this. You know, the grass, because it's a colour and it's going to go over, because it's a painting, it'll actually go around and everything will just blend in lovely. Apologies if my head gets in the way here. I'm just leaning down while I'm painting. So I'm also just going to add a little bit of yellow in. So I've got new paints coming tomorrow and new brushes. So I will be using them tomorrow. So hopefully I'll paint. If they're good, you know, I'm going to put the links all over. The paints are from Tracy Evanscstamos boutique. So again, I will, and I have brought them, by the way. So I just want to clarify that. There we go. But yeah, ooh, hello. Let's just wipe that off. There we go. Sorted. So I'm going to mat and layer these. Got a lovely little gift card. I really like that. Let me just get rid of this blob of ink on here. Perfect. Love it. So all I'll do on that now would be, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Right, oops. Oh, that's got fingerprints on. That's not very good, is it? There we go. Right, so let me cut that off there. Let me just, I don't know what I'll say about that big. I'm just doing off the, I have no idea what I'm cutting up. As in size-wise, so don't ask. That'll be perfect. Let me just get a bit of ink. Glue, ink, glue. Ink won't glue it. Glue will glue it. Right, there we go. So, pink frog glue. This is super smooth cardstock, one of my offcuts. Night Ruth, I'm giving myself now, so don't worry. Oh dear me. I say that all the time and I end up doing something else. Right, but there you go. So look, there you go. So that's a lovely little tag now. So we've got the area for you to write on. That's all put on now. We've got that little bit of wiggle room with that glue. So there you go. One gift tag. Card on mat and layer. Let's put that out. Let's put that out the way. Then I can say good night to you myself then, can't I? Let's move all this out the way. Tidy up, as you do. But yeah, oh, there we are. Right, lid on. Can't get losing that, can we? Right, let's have a look. Let's turn that over. There we go. Bum, bum. Oh, what's that? I don't know, but it's gone now. Right, so we're done. So we've got Amanda live tomorrow. That was your original. Let's bring it down so you can see. I'm sure you can. Tonight's card I've got a mat and layer. We just missed off the robin. However, we've done it differently. We've done more of a reflection. We've done that back one because we had the masking fluid. And obviously I showed you on this card, we've done an extra little tag in as well. So you're going to have like a card and a tag as well. So I'll mat and layer this. I might even, no I won't mat and layer that. That's all done. We've splodged a bit of back with the excess paint. We're not wasting anything. So there you go. A nice little sentiment. Happy birthday, Dad. I don't know, uncle, whatever. But yeah, so I'll put that over so it looks like it is matte and layered. And look at that. Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt. So there we are. Different ways of showcasing that lovely little wheelbarrow. Everything is available on Tracy's site, and that's Tracy Evans Boutique. designs. I can always pop you a link on, but I'm sure all of you do know it. If not, I will pop a link on so you can purchase from there. So tonight's stamps I used were obviously, oh bless you, thank you Nettie, 38, 14 and number 6. I did showcase 23 but I didn't use it, but I used it in the original and it was the Stamps and a Little Birdie, which we left off tonight, but you got a bonus tag instead. So there we go. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to pop that up like that so you can see it. There we go. We've got a nice reflection, a little wheelbarrow doing his things. Oh bless you. Oh, Maxine, thank you. Elizabeth, thank you. I'm going to sign off. I will see you on Thursday. Thursday, I'm also going live in Tracy's group. They don't know it yet, but I'm going to. So I will post on in Tracy's group just to say, and that is going to be to make an envelope and a card. And that's really easy. So we will make an envelope with a matching card, matching envelope, however you want to say it. And that's just one sheet of A4 paper. Very minimal stuff, pair of scissors, bit of glue or tape, and that's it, you've got it. Again, I've just put a piece of card on there, bit of my offcuts, and that's just you know, it's just pretty, and I'd love that through, you know, and it's just a couple of stamps. It's just how you arrange it and the colours you use, that's all. So we'll do some different colours and I'll show you how to put that together. So I shall see you all on Thursday. Thank you so much for all joining me. I'm going to press off the buttons. Thank you all so very, very much. I love you all to bits. So I'm just going to say goodbye to Instagram. But yeah, righty-ho. That's that gone. Oh, I like that. That was an easy one. Facebook, thank you. Sorry about your... Oh, Eva, hi. Catherine, Tina, Julie. Hello, hello, hello. Marianne, Kimberly, and... Oh, yes, you're all there. Hello, my sweeties. Right, so I'm going to say bye to you guys. So that's that done. So there you are. So yeah, YouTube is always the best. Let me just get off there, brilliant. So Matt and Larry, I'll put the things on. I'll see you all soon. Just to let you know, I think it's the 5th of July. I'm at Nets in Crafty Corner. That's in Leicestershire. So that, I don't think there is some spaces still available for that workshop. We always do a nice big card and some little makes in the morning. But these are the sort of things that you're going to start doing now with me. Big meaty pieces, but they're so easy when we break them down, and I'll show you when we do them together. So I'm going to go. Let me demount you off here just so you can see my chaos. It ain't too bad tonight, to be fair. It's all over there really. And then there's bits I can't show you there, but I'm not going to show you that. And yet I'm quite I won't show you anything over there. There you are. Not allowed. Ooh, I wonder what that would be. Well, I'm going to go before I get myself into trouble. So there we go. I'll see you later, everybody. Thanks for doing thumbs up and all the rest of it. And I'll see you all soon. Well, I'll see you Thursday. See you later. Oh, I've got running.